everyone. Welcome to Monday's Power Hour in the PM. My name is Madison Crews. I said it in the AM, but I am going to be doing tonight's hour show in place of John, who is out doing stuff for the high school, for the football high school championship this week. So we're all going to be pitching in here at Soccer Down Here to kind of pick up the slack, give you guys a little bit of news, what's going on in soccer, and who knows, maybe you'll get some more rants from me about how bad Newcastle is, or all of that great stuff. But, some fun things to look out for, especially later on in the week. Soccer Down Here content. You will be seeing a new Soccer is in Session from me at some point this week. I will be interviewing UGA's head coach for women's soccer in Kadani McAlpine. Hopefully, we have an interview scheduled, so we'll get to hear a bit from him about UGA and kind of how they were able to secure their first SEC championship for women's soccer and just their experience throughout the NCAA Division I Women's Soccer Championship tournament, and then where they placed and kind of all of that stuff. So keep an eye out for that, and if that doesn't come to fruition, we're going to still do one last Soccer's in Session just to kind of give you an overview of how some of Georgia's soccer teams did throughout this whole semester. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited that I can kind of give you guys some news, and we will get started. Well, now that the MLS Cup is over and the MLS season is now over and Columbus Crew has their third MLS Cup, we will be getting a lot more MLS transfer rumors, transfers, and so many other head coaching changes, which a few have already happened today, or some rumors have been spiraling around, so I'll be giving you some of that today. But one of the biggest ones I saw was Nashville SC is acquiring Drew Yearwood from New York Red Bulls. So Nashville's going to receive Yearwood, and then the New York Red Bulls are going to receive up to $150K in GAMs. So that's going to be interesting. Just getting that midfielder in there, trying to pick that up. So I think it's a good trade, at least for them. They get to pick that up and then getting all that stuff, which is going to be great for them. Now, some big coaching news happening in MLS. It seems that Charlotte FC might be getting their new head coach in the next 24 hours, and it might be Dean Smith, who also formerly coached at Leicester City and Norwich City for a while, but he was seen holidaying in New York City, but it has been kind of rumored for a bit, but it's likely that he will get appointed to Charlotte FC within the next couple of hours, so expect to see that kind of pop up on your social media pages, maybe tomorrow, maybe in the next couple days, who knows? So we're going to be seeing a lot more coaches, seeing a lot more rumors of coaches coming in, coming out, and seeing all that stuff come to fruition. But that one was the big eye popper for me today. In other transfer news, New England Revolution is set to acquire Nick Lima from Austin FC. The deal has been finalized, and it's a trade. So New England's going to receive Nick Lima. Austin is going to receive $300K GAM. Now, New England Revolution is looking to have a bit more of that. He's going to be a fullback for them. They need a bit more of that defensive area, so I think it's really going to be a good fit for them. This is from New England Revolution sporting director. Nick Lima has proven to be a dependable defender in Major League Soccer over the last 7 seasons and has had a steady presence in the back line for both of his previous clubs. With the ability to play on either side of back position, we foresee Nick making important contributions to our squad and bolstering our defensive unit in key areas for the 2024 season. I think this is a really good trade. I think this is going to be really good for New England Revolution. I'm excited to see what Nick Lima does. Nick Lima is 29, played 7 seasons in the league after initially competing with the San Jose Earthquakes. He had 8 goals and 20 assists in 194 matches, plus 9 caps for the U.S. men's national team. So I'm excited to see what he does in New England. And in more MLS transfer news, we have Montreal acquiring left back Raheem Edwards from the LA Galaxy in exchange for $400K GAM. Now, Edwards is 28, has 5 caps with the Canadian national team, has made 149 MLS appearances between LA Galaxy, Toronto FC, Chicago Fire, Minnesota United, LAFC, and Montreal. Now, I think this is going to be a great pick for Montreal. I'm excited to see what he can do there, and in other ones to possibly be announced, these are some rumored ones. Tom Bogert, who's on Twitter, if you want to follow him, he is following this. This is where I'm getting the information from. To be announced is Tom Barlow to Chicago, Andrew Gutman to Chicago, Chris Durkin to St. Louis, and Jared Stroud and Lucas Bartlett to DC. So keep an eye out for those. Those are some more transfer windows that you can find throughout the rest of the time, but those are going to be fun ones to watch out for. And in more MLS news, MLS announced the 2023 Mark Abbott Club and Executive Award winners today. For those of you who don't know what these awards are, they're basically just awards to kind of recognize the clubs and the executives throughout the 2023 season, what they've been able to do behind the scenes, as well as what they've been able to produce on the pitch as well. So Inter Miami led the clubs with 4 total awards, followed by Nashville, who won 3, Atlanta United, Columbus Crew, FC Cincinnati, LAFC, and expansion club St. Louis City, each won 2 awards, and then the complete list is also listed on MLSsoccer.com, but just to name some of them, the Doug Hamilton Executive of the Year Award went to Inter Miami FC, and then one that I even want to point out, MLS Club of the Year goes to Atlanta United, but I feel like Atlanta United has had a really good steady marker in the MLS era, so that's been really cool to see. And then Supporter Management Club of the Year, Atlanta United, I think that's well-deserved too. I mean, just the way that Atlanta United's able to really appreciate the supporters and how they've been able to manage that from that side as well. It's really great. And the reason I know most of this is because I am a sports management major, so a lot of this makes a lot of sense to me, which is really interesting. Looking at all of it, like, I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. So putting my degree to use, guys. I'm putting it to use, and we're using it here, so this is great. But, I mean, all of these are well-deserved. Academy of the Year, Columbus Crew, Club and Mission of the Year, Nashville, which, I mean, all of this makes a lot. Digital and Social Media Club of the Year, Inter Miami, which, big round of applause to every one of the social media content creators on every single one of these sports. I mean, the way that they're able to create these stories and create this content for the fans as well as for the club, I mean, it's a remarkable job. So, congrats to all of you. I mean, it's so astounding. I couldn't do some of the stuff that they do. It's really great to see, and I love getting to see all the content on all the social media pages, so it's always fun to see. So if you want to check out the full list, it is at MLSsoccer.com. You just got to look up MLS announces the Mark Abbott Club winners of this year, and you will find it. Now, with all the MLS stuff being over, let's go to some of the Champions League matches, because those are starting up again this week, or more specifically tomorrow, so you got to check those out. All of these, or most of them, are starting at 12:45 or 3 p.m. Some of the Premier League teams, which we talked about a bit today in Prim and Proper, Arsenal will be against PSV Eindhoven at 12:45, so you can check that out. At 3 p.m., Man United will be playing against Bayern Munich. And then you also have Inter Milan playing against Real Sociedad, and many of these other names that I cannot pronounce because I just can't speak, ever, which is kind of ironic, seeing as this is a profession where I'm required to speak a lot and know a lot of these names. But don't worry, I will get them eventually. And then obviously on Wednesday, the one that I will be eyeing is Newcastle and AC Milan, which I follow both of those teams. Both those teams are the teams that I follow pretty much all the time. It's really difficult. When I found out they were in the same group, I was like, well, what is a girl to do, I don't think Newcastle is going to be very good in this match. I really don't. I just, we're so burnt out with everything that's going on. We talked about it in Prim and Proper this morning, but I mean, we're just so burnt out, Half of our squad has been in the lineup for how long? Since the beginning of the season. And, they're coming into this Champions League game who, we all expected them to do well, and now they're kind of not really doing the best. They're at the bottom of the group. So it's kind of hard. I don't really expect much from it. But it's going to be interesting. I'm excited that Champions League starts this week. I'm excited to see all the games. It's going to be great. I always love Champions League. I like seeing all of these different soccer leagues come together, play against each other. I have always been a huge fan of Champions League. I actually didn't find it until a little bit ago. My stepdad, who's a huge reason why I am into soccer in itself, he was always into all of this and kind of following Premier League when, Man City won, when Newcastle won, and when Man United won. It was like, all of them being in the Champions League. And so I started watching it with him a little bit. So it's kind of a fun thing. Like him and then my brothers, we all watch it together. So it's a lot of fun. And I'm excited for this week. And especially because I'm out of school, I get to watch most of these games when I'm not working. But, I can, have it on my my phone when I'm sitting at my desk. So it's great. So definitely tune into those games. I'm really excited for that. And if you want a full rant about my Newcastle, dilemma. So I don't really know if you want to hear me talk about that, but if you would like to, you can catch our little talk this morning between me, Jarrett, and Drew, talking a bit about it in Prim and Proper this morning. So that is going to be on speaker if you want to watch that as well. So little shameless plug, but I thought I'd throw it in there because you all should watch it, because it was basically all of us just ranting the whole morning. But it's okay, because what else are we supposed to do? We're all soccer fans. It's what we're supposed to do. Now, before we close out this power hour, and we normally do this on Prim and Proper, but just so that we can get a little bit of a recap of what's going on in Premier League going into this weekend in, I believe, week 17. Yes, week 17, which it's crazy that we're already there, but it's almost December, so it's going, and I'm excited. I love Premier League. It's just so much fun. But Nottingham Forest and the Spurs are going to play Friday at 3 p.m., which is going to be interesting. I'm excited to see how the Spurs do. They were able to kind of break that losing streak, or that winless streak, with Newcastle. And again, I'm not going to get into it because I already ranted enough about it, so I'm just not going to talk about it, and I'm going to forget about it. But Newcastle at 10 a.m. on Saturday plays Fulham, so that's going to be an interesting one to watch. That's going to be at home, so maybe Newcastle will finally, get in their stride. They're playing AC Milan in Champions League earlier this week, so we'll see kind of if we get to see maybe a different lineup. Maybe we'll get to see some people being rested. Who knows? We'll find out. I have no idea. Bournemouth will play Luton at 10 a.m. Chelsea and Sheffield United will play at 10 a.m. Man City and Crystal Palace play at 10 a.m. And then you also have Burnley and Everton at 12:30. So that's going to be fun. I'm excited to see kind of how the leaderboard turns out. And then you got Sunday. You also have Arsenal and Brighton. And then you have Brentford, Aston Villa. And then you have at 9 a.m. West Ham and Wolves. And then Liverpool at 11:30 a.m. will play against Man United. So this is going to be an interesting week 17. I'm excited, especially with how, the double match day that we had, going into last week. These teams playing almost like 2 matches in like not even 2 to 3 days. So it'll be interesting to see kind of how these teams recuperate going into the week, kind of see what is going to be happening on their sides. But yeah, wanted to give a bit of a recap for Prim and Proper, just to kind of give a bit of sprinkle that in there a little bit before we do our big roundabout Prim and Proper episode with me, John, and Drew on Friday. So stay tuned for that, and that's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah. But for the most part, I think that's all the updates I have for you guys. Kind of a shorter one than normal, but not much kind of was flowing today, kind of in either of these channels. So I kind of, there wasn't really much to tell. So you kind of got a little bit of a little backstory about myself, and you also got a little bit of some great news. But tune into the rest of the week. We're going to be doing these power hours in the AM and the PM. It's going to be a mix of all of us going in, because John's going to be doing stuff with high school football championships this week. So you're going to see an intermix of just all of us coming together to create content for you guys. But also keep an eye out for that Soccer is in Session. I'm really excited for that one. And if we can't get that interview, I'm just going to go through and do a bit of a recap of everything that's been going on this semester. Maybe give you guys some highlights of some of my favorite interviews I've done for Soccer is in Session, because I think that'd be a lot of fun, You get to kind of a little bit of a recap of everything we've done this, I don't want to say semester. I'm still used to the whole college scheme of it all. But, the back half of, the season, and kind of just see kind of everything that we've been doing here at Soccer Down Here. But that's pretty much it. So follow me on socials at Madison Crews 7 on both Instagram and on X, Twitter, whatever you call it. If you want to catch up on some of the things I've been doing, I do a lot of stuff with KSU. I also do a lot of stuff here at Soccer Down Here, some interviews and everything like that. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. I hope you guys got some news out of it, and stay tuned tomorrow in the morning for another Power Hour. Thank you so much, guys.